Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Vision Quest. My name is Ashley Apap. I'm a writer and comedian from Melbourne, Australia. And if this is your first time watching or listening to this, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. It's so nice to have you. How'd you find this? Excuse me. How'd you find this? Please let me know, because I certainly didn't come to you. So we need to figure this out. And if you're returning, welcome back, my dear friend. Family even. At this point, we're quite the way in. I can say that we're related. And if we're not, we'll get like a paternity test, because maybe I am in fact your daddy. So speaking of daddies, we got a real one here today in the studio. And by the studio, I mean on the internet from across the world. My dear friend, Andy Vega, is here.
Oh, wow. Ashley, it's good to be here from across the freaking globe. Holy hell. And I'm a daddy now.
I know.
This is my announcement. I have kids. I don't know where they are. I'm a daddy.
He's all along. You didn't even know. So do you feel competent in changing diapers or?
Oh, no. I was just telling, I had a dream last night that I just kept dropping a baby. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know if I've ever held a baby. I would be bad at it. So I hope I'm not a father anytime soon.
Yeah. Let's put that out into the world. Let's not let Andy become a father. If there's anyone out there that is unemployed looking for a job and wants to just not earn any money, but just feel responsibility. Mm-hmm. This job's for you.
Yeah, not me.
No. He can't keep track of it. He can't keep track of whether he's making babies or not.
There's too much stuff happening. How are you supposed to keep track of which baby is yours or not? They all look the same. Who knows?
I know. And let's be real.
I'm real.
You're a beautiful human being, but you're pretty generic. You're pretty generic face.
Okay.
Anyone could be your baby.
Right. What do you mean by generic?
Look.
Sort of sounds like it hurts my feelings.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone walking down the street that wasn't wearing red headphones.
That's a good point. So I'm relatable is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, people can relate, and people, dare I say, want to be you.
That's nice. Those people need help, but I'll take it. I'll take it where I can get it at this point in my life.
Yeah, okay, good. So Andy is the best, as you can already tell.
Oh my gosh.
We met 5 years ago now, which is crazy.
Jesus Christ.
In Chicago, Illinois, doing a 6-week improv course, because we are lame.
We got scammed,
Yeah,
actually.
Sadly, I want my money back, and I can never get it. Do you think it's been too long now to be able to get it back?
Probably. I believe the theater is closed forever.
Yeah,
so I
true.
don't think anyone will help you.
Yeah, R.I.P. I.O.
R.I.P. I can't believe that was 5 years ago already. That's really fucks with my head.
Yeah.
Does it feel like 5 years to you?
No, that feels like what some would call yesterday.
The Beatles.
Truly, they would, and they did. But
They did.
But more than any other time, I feel like everything before that point, and even, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, when I was younger, and I'd be like, that was 5 years ago, it actually felt like 5 years ago.
Right.
I think everything that's happened in my life between now and then just hasn't been as fun, and that was so fun.
Yeah. Well, and when you're younger, a year, so much more changes. 23 to 24 is nothing compared to 10 to 11. You've learned, you've doubled your knowledge in that time from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
23 to 24 is I learned a couple new recipes and I made one friend. You know?
Exactly. And I realized that my parents are human beings.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, I was 21 when we did that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 18.
You were a tiny little fetus.
Tiny little fetus.
But I would argue, and I think others would agree, that your crew, as I like to call it, so yourself, Justin, and Molly, were the funniest people in the class.
That's insane, but thanks.
But it's true, baby. Oh my God. Okay, so a comedian and a writer and a performer and a genius. Is there anything that you're doing that I'm forgetting? You've got a podcast with Justin and Molly called Journal Me Fine, which is amazing.
Hell yeah, thanks.
What else has been going on that I'm forgetting?
I mean, you pretty much hit it. That's pretty much what I do at the moment. We're still stuck indoors in the U.S., so nothing is good. So Journal Me Finds the podcast. That's pretty much it. I also do a radio show thing with my friend Maddie Casal. It's called Friends by Force, and that's on the internet.
Amazing. And you are in New York City right now, if anyone was wondering where he is. So
thank you. Yeah, I'm in someone come by.
I'm
in New York. Come find me.
Don't hurt him.
You can figure it out.
But find him.
Yeah. Don't hurt me. Please. Unless he consensually is like, please punch me in the face. I need to feel something. I think it'll take a couple of meetings before that sort of thing will come up. But yes, that will eventually be part of the contractual friendship we get going.
Yes. And I personally would just like to gas up my personal favorite piece of content for those out there that Andy has been a part of. So you and the previously mentioned Justin have your YouTube channel, Just And, so funny. And I'm not exaggerating. Every Friday I wake up and I just go, FRIDAYY. And my best friend, Kelsey, who's in LA, does the same thing. And if we talk on a Friday, we'll say Friday like that, and we won't address it, and we'll move on.
Holy shit.
So,
I'm honored.
An impact has been made.
Well, God bless. It's a classic video. The sketch premise is me and Justin are two boys excited that it's Friday, and it's mostly Justin, but we cut around, baby. It's good.
Oh, your reactions are perfect. It's so good. I'll if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link in the thingy so you can watch it. And to the whole channel, obviously. It's so good. Like, I don't think I've ever watched it and not just been grinning the entire time. It's so funny.
It's fun. He kills it, that one. I remember laughing a lot while making it. And it's one of the few videos, because it's like we would just shit out memes every week was like our goal, was just to make something. And I feel like that one, there's like a couple of edit tricks I actually use to make it flow correctly. And it's like the one, but it's still like the most TikTok-y meme one of all, because it's just Justin screaming that it's Friday, and we keep brainstorming, what's another crazy thing you could do because it's Friday?
It's
just
perfect.
Over and over.
And like this might not mean anything to anyone who wasn't in that intensive in Chicago 5 years ago, but watching how you both have like, especially I feel like then Justin was like purely the straight man, and you were the wacky one, and seeing you guys switch it up, and also like in general, I think he was just a lot more closed in. And I remember one of our teachers was just like, just let loose, man, just be fucking crazy.
They would ride him about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Thanks for watching our videos, Ashley.
I love them. They're so good. Anyway, okay, so I think we should get into these questions.
All right.
If you're prepared, if you're ready.
You know, I'm somewhat prepared, and some of them are, I'm just going to sort of see what happens in the moment, and we're going to be here, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be, it's whatever happens. It's going to be an experience.
We're actually improvisers, and that's because we paid for a 6-week class. So, like, we know how to handle things in the moment, and that's why I'm not prepared.
Yeah. I can handle anything except a global pandemic. All right, so we're going to get into these questions. The first question is, what did you want to be when you grew up, and why do you think that is?
Well, when I was growing up, I for sure wanted to be a professional basketball player. And I guess why that was because basketball was sort of the only thing I liked and thought I was good at. And then I eventually found out that I wasn't that good at it when I didn't make my freshman high school team. And then I also sort of was like, well, I'm also pretty small in most regards. You're supposed to be rather bigger and stronger and faster and more coordinated to sort of do that to actually an extreme degree. So there's no way that would ever happen.
And just like better, you know?
Yeah, I guess better as a person too, like more determination and like empathetic, stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah, I think when the NBA is doing their draft, they're like, okay, who here is the best friend out of this pick?
We're doing the friend draft this year. We're trying to get just a couple of jesters sort of on the team to keep everyone up and up.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll put in one sociopath just to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Someone with no empathy whatsoever.
I think genuinely most sports teams, if they're good, there's got to be one sociopath there, because you got to want to win so bad that you'll hurt others to get there. You need that. You need that in a team. You want a sociopath on your team.
If you take one thing away from this episode, it's that.
You need one sociopath on your team, no matter what you're doing.
Workplace, family, every team, any kind, but especially a sports team.
Absolutely. But yeah, the whole basketball thing didn't work out, I guess.
I'm sorry. Well, you're tall.
No, it's okay.
You are tall.
I'm like 5'8". It's pretty average.
I think that anyone is tall that's my height, and I'm 5'8". So I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's
we're
my
tall.
personal thing. We're tall.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess professional basketballers are like 7 feet.
They're very, very tall, yeah.
Yeah, I forget. I played a game of basketball last night, actually.
Whoa, how'd it go? What are we talking?
We won. My stats were 3 attempted shots and 0 baskets sunk.
Well, hey, it's not all offense. I imagine you were doing some things on defense, making the other team scared.
Yeah, I'm purely a defensive player. I've been playing since I was 6, and there was like a maybe like 5 or 6 year period where I played like pretty competitively, but it was very clear that I was accepted onto the teams because I was tall, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
For a girl at least, and then also great screaming on the bench and encouragement. Lots of
I can see that.
Yeah, and like great job. Just general encouragement, specific like good shot next time. Hey, Stephanie, look in the key. You know, just lots of just
lots of look in the keys.
Yeah,
you're always telling people to look in the key, and they're like, we are.
They're like, we don't have the ball.
Right.
Oh, I guess you still should look at the key.
I could totally see that, because I feel like you also, when improvising with you, you're one of those improvisers who will support the fuck out of anyone. Like, you're a very high supporter from my memory from 5 years ago.
Well, you haven't aged that much. I'm sure your memory is intact.
It's doing its best.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
But yeah, it would come to a point sometimes if it was like a really intense game and like the parents were all and everything, I would get so overwhelmed. I would just start going, basketball. Let's remember I was like 14.
I mean, that's still pretty great. Like from the bench, you were screaming basketball. So just generic, this is the game we're playing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And on court, I would just do lots of like, woo! And just yells.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, I when I played like in middle school, I would get angry and like quit. Like if we were losing by too much, I would start fucking around, and my dad was always the coach, and he hated that so much.
Whoa!
I can't really talk to him about it.
You were the Troy Bolton of your middle school.
Absolutely. And then I went on to just do theater and no basketball. What Troy Bolton should have been. He should have quit the team, obviously.
This might be a controversial take, but I would argue that any conflict that arose between him and anyone else was because he chose basketball. So
it could have just been solved.
You know, if he had just made a better decision, he would be more like you, and that's what we all wish for him.
And that's huge. And I actually in college did act in a production of High School Musical.
That you did.
And I did play the ball boy in the basketball scenes in the background, which is not a real character.
It is
and
now.
it's the best role I've ever had.
Did you add any like pizzazz to it? Did you do any little improv moves?
That's like all I did in all of my college productions was I was just, like bit characters, and I would just fuck around every rehearsal until whatever hit hardest. I would just keep. I was a menace. I don't know. It didn't make anything better, but that's what I did. And I can talk about it in the past now because I graduated in May.
Ooh, we've got.
I just want to let everyone know.
We've got an alumni here, everyone.
I am a freaking alumni, everyone. So calm down.
I remember the first time I ever improvised anything. It was 7th grade, school musical. Was Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Fun.
And I was a hairy Ishmaelite was the name of my character.
Oh my God.
And
Harry?
Harry.
What did they do with that? Did they paste hair on you?
I think they saw me walk in. They were like, she's got a monobrow. Done. Like, let's go from there. No, it was like a non-speaking role. It was like in the group songs, I was like in the chorus. And then there was one scene where, if you know the musical, basically the story is from the fictional storybook, the Bible, where there's like Joseph is being sold by his brothers, and it's like tricking his dad. His dad doesn't know that he's going to be sold, and these are the people that he is sold to, and then they transport him somewhere else. And so I was the buyer, if you will.
Oh my God.
And
you're an evil character.
Exactly. And it's me and another girl, and we're dressed in like these big black cloaks, and they're basically wearing like something where you can only really see our eyes, and we're meant to look like men as well. I think we had beards. And then I was in the background, and there's a moment where me and the other seller are looking at each other, like looking at him up and down, and then we just nod to be like, yeah, we'll take him. We shake the hand and we leave. And as soon as the other two people were looking at each other, I was like, this is my moment. And I stepped back, and I was like, and I start scratching my pretend balls. And I was just like, and looked down to the audience and tried to make eye contact with as many people as I could.
Oh my God. You animal.
I got lots of laughs. What can I say?
Was this during, so this was during an actual performance. This wasn't a rehearsal.
This was every night.
Okay.
And
so
I was told.
You added it in, and then you kept it.
And I was told not to do it. And every time I still did it. Because I was like, what are you going to do? Not.
You're going to get someone else to do this part? Exactly. I am the hairy Ishmael. I'm going to do it.
I am carrying the scene.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So.
You would get laughs and they told you not to do it.
Because I guess they were like, we don't want to encourage like dick scratching, you know?
I feel like that's so true to the character. The one thing in your name, it's not a description that you're hairy. Your name states that you're hairy. So therefore, you got hair everywhere. You're probably itchy.
And I'm in like, it's meant to be in the desert as well.
Oh,
he's on a camel.
Sweating.
We're in the desert. I've got this like outfit on that's covering every part of my body. I'm definitely itchy. I'm definitely sweaty.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And I definitely have big saggy balls. So I got to scratch them, maybe. That was a choice that I made.
And that was another problem was you actually kept being like, I've got big saggy hairy balls. I'm gonna scratch them.
Yeah, in the middle, in between songs when there was moments of silence and transition and blackouts on the stage.
You had to justify it.
There would just, every time, a new line that was kind of like adding to the backstory of this character and their balls. The next question is, what's your favorite thing about yourself?
Do people have answers for this? I don't fucking know. These questions, actually, I'm like, well, Ashley's trying to help me. These questions are trying to get me to finally call my goddamn insurance company and get that therapy appointment. What's my favorite thing about myself? I don't know. I don't fucking have one of those. Do people have those? You list them out?
That's a perfect answer.
Holy shit.
You don't that truly can be the answer because that's amazing.
All right. I don't know if this is really about me or just my spree of luck in my life, but I'm very grateful for all the friendships I have. I feel like I've always been very lucky. Shut the fuck up. I've always been very lucky in every timeline, every period of my life to make good friendships that I feel like I've sustained up until this point, and we'll see how that crashes and burns anytime soon. But right now we're on a good spree and I feel good about it.
I'm gonna test these boundaries. The idea that you've put out there, they could crash and burn. I'm gonna see.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I have an advantage as a friend from across the globe.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things that I could do that would test this that you wouldn't even know were me. All I need to do is like find out where you live.
What are you going to do?
Send packages. Say it's a different friend. Destroy some friendships. I want you to continue to have this luck and this success with your friendships because I think you deserve it. But you didn't say that they might crash and burn for no reason. That seems like you're tempting fate.
Well, it's almost like I feel like I'm bragging. Like, I got so many goddamn friends. And then I'm trying to sort of bring that down. Like, well, I don't know. Like, maybe they all hate me. I don't know. Or maybe I'm going to do something bad and ruin it all. Mm-hmm. You know?
This time.
Yeah. Or they're all going to throw me an epic surprise party. And before I get there, they'll all die. and then I'll have no friends. So I don't know.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I do too.
That was a menacing tone.
I hope it doesn't. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope not all my closest friends are in the same room and something horrific occurs. Yeah, obviously.
If you're listening and not watching, there's a fiery, menacing look behind Andy's eyes. The thing about me is I have a lazy eye.
Oh.
So it's subtle, hard. But it is like,
okay, noticed.
Imagine if that was a lie I made up for attention.
That would be pretty epic.
You know what?
For real.
I'm going to start doing that. Making up like really harmless lies that don't affect anyone.
Yeah.
Just being like, yeah, I have a birthmark.
Yeah, I used to have a tail. Sorry. All right.
Like in Shallow Hal. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Jason Alexander's in it and he has a little tail.
What?
And it's like a bone. It's extra bone that like grew and he like... Are you looking it up?
I'm searching Jason Alexander tail. I don't know if this is something I want to see. Oh! Wow. Okay.
Well, like Shallow
I instantly
Wow.
Closed. Nice. Okay, so we're writing a parody called Shallow Wow.
He also is the creator of the ShamWow.
Okay. I like that. And Billy Mays is involved. It's sort of an infomercial sequence.
We get some HGTV sponsorship going.
Okay. I'm feeling this is good.
Do I have your support? Will you back this? Will you finance this?
Yeah. You got Venmo?
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
It's at 123 Stinky Dick Boy.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the next question, and sadly, it is an earnest one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is, what's your favorite feeling?
My favorite feeling... Okay, I had a couple ideas. I assume this one has been done. When you laugh so hard that you cry.
Ooh.
That's a classic. It's usually something that's funny in a dumb way. Like you start laughing at the fact that you're laughing, and it gets higher and higher, and then tears happen. And then another one that I thought of, because I feel like this feeling, I can't really get this one here as much because we can't really go out and stuff. But when you're like a little bit turnt in some way, your item of choice, oh yeah, do the whip and the nay. Mm-hmm. When you're a little turnt and you're inside, and then you go outside, and that first breeze, that feeling. Ooh. Of like, oh wow, wind is nice, and you're a little bit fucked up in the brain. That's a good feeling. Underrated feeling. I don't think people talk about it enough, and I'm sort of trying to bring awareness.
Yeah. Let the people think about this worthy cause. But for real, that's a great feeling. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Next question is,
What's
your happy place?
This one's sad too, because like it for sure, unfortunately, is fucking doing a good improv show, which I now haven't done for almost a year in person. I guess I've done a couple of Zoom ones, but those will never be the same.
I did my first one, same thing, in a year. On FRIDAYY.
Nice.
Thank you. It's a callback. I don't know if you know this thing. It's called a callback.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, it's clear that you absolutely do.
Callback.
Can you explain what it is?
So, well, how was your show?
All right, I see what we're doing there. No, it was really good. But I walked off stage and I was like, oh my God, I like could have cried. I was so like,
really?
I needed that. I missed this so much. And right afterwards, I was like, we might go into another lockdown if we get more case. Like anything could happen. Yeah. Shit might get bad here again. But I needed that like breath of, I don't know how to explain it. And it was a cage match. And yes, we did win.
Yes! And that's what improv is all about. It's about winning competitive cage match shows, wherein you come back the next week and you come back stronger, and the other team feels bad. So whoever the other team was, I hope they feel bad.
To the other team. Middle fingies.
Yeah, middle fingies to the other team.
Right up their butts, and then I carry them around. I have one person on one fingy, one on the other, and I go... And I do like spinning plates, but spinning butts.
See, I'm voting for you.
Thank you.
Because that's hilarious, and your fingers are extraordinarily strong. But I'm jealous that you got to do a show. I'm glad it went well, and it was euphoric, because that is that feeling that I have not had in quite a while, and I do miss it. But yeah, that's the closest as a happy place I guess I could for sure be like, I'm happy there. What's up?
I know when I'm happy when I'm there.
A hundo.
Is it true you've never been happy apart from that in that circumstance?
What's the next question? No, I've been happy before. I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm having fun now. I'm happy now with Ashley on Vision Quest. Yes! And I'm going to stand. Yes, basketball.
Woo! Nothing but net. Next question is, what is your favorite song to cry to if you've ever shed a tear?
Yeah, again, you got a few questions in here that really make me have to go like, damn, I really got to stop pushing off that phone call to find some in-network therapists nearby. I don't cry very often, and there's probably reasons to that. So I don't have a song that like makes me cry. I've never had that. However, I do have a crying playlist that our dear friend Justin Kaziski made for me about a year ago, I think, when some sad stuff was happening. And so I was looking at that before, and I found a couple of ones that I remember being like, no, this is a good sad song to cry to. I got Good News by Mac Miller. It's pretty sad, especially given the context.
Yep.
And then also a song called These Days by Nico.
Ooh.
That was also a good one. Those
Amazing.
would be my answers, but I don't really do that.
The thing about me is I don't cry because don't know how. Imagine if you were like, look, I understand what crying is, but I've never experienced it and I don't know how, and I've tried and it can't happen.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I used to cry a lot as a kid and like early teenager, but then probably some fucking toxic masculinity bullshit. It's hard for me to cry.
Yeah, that's sad, but earnest. Also
it'll be okay.
You're still fine. You cope in other ways.
I know how to smile.
That's the main thing, baby.
Yes, it's real good.
It's really, you know what? Like I always say, why be sad when you can just keep being happy?
That's fucking genius. People forget that. is you can stop being so sad.
Yeah, you just don't.
Yeah, that's what I do all day, every day.
We're going to do the next question, which is, who is someone you admire? It could be anyone.
I mean, this is so lame, but I was also just going to say most of my friends. I feel like, again, very lucky. I feel like a sizable portion of them have made me a better person, and I'm appreciative of that. Because, I'm a dumb boy, so I've done some growing in the past few years, and so I'm grateful for all my friends. I'm not even going to name any because it's too hard. I'm not going to do it.
Because there's
and I'm afraid
so many.
There's not that many.
Hi,
but
my name's Andy Vega, and I have more friends
God
than
damn
anyone.
It. This is why it sucks. Like fucking.
Hi, MTV. Welcome to my cribs. This is the room where I keep all my friends. I hold them here against my will. There's one of those dog bowls that's like a maze, and they have to wait for the food to come out. And there's like a little hamster feedy drop water thing. And some of them have died.
And this is the favorite part. This is my favorite part about myself, are my friends who are in there drinking the water. And I also admire them. Yeah. No, but it's most of my friends.
But it is your friends, but in all seriousness, friends.
This episode's going to get people to like call hotlines for both of us to like help us. It's going to be great.
So the next question is, what's some weird kid shit you used to do?
Nice. I feel like I used to do a lot of weird kid shit. I grew up in Arizona, in the States, desert land, and I used to play a lot in the desert with the neighborhood boys. Ooh. We would do fun little things in the desert. We would there were like ditches that we would create little forts and clubhouses. But one thing we used to do that I like remembered recently was we used to have legit, we would call them like dirt wars, dirt ball fights, and we would separate into two teams. There'd be like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of us. You'd be like a good 100 yards away from each other in a different ditch, and you'd make balls of dirt, and then we'd go, and then we would just fucking throw hard balls of dirt at one another. And it always ended with someone crying and in pain because they feel like cement. It's painful and it hurts.
Yeah,
so that's kind of weird.
It's dry. It's super dry. Wow.
Mm-hmm. You either have a bad one that's super dry and like explodes, or you have a good one that like molds together tight, and that one hurts a lot.
Ooh, what age was this?
Probably between like 9 and 12.
Yes, perfect age to be doing this weird shit.
Lots of shenanigans in the desert at that age. A lot of stuff like that. We would like light fires sometimes for fun, little tiny fires, and I was such a little nerd, like goody two shoes. So one time we lit a fire and I slightly burned my thumb, and it was like a small fire, like probably a candle's worth. And so I told my mom that we were lighting fires because I wanted help with my burn. And I got freaking grounded. And the other kids didn't get in trouble at all.
Of course.
And one of my neighbors got a freaking new camera. I was like, this sucks.
As a reward for learning survival skills and how to light a fire?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. He got an award for the bad thing that we did, that I confessed, that I tattletaled on.
But you know what? Where is he now?
He's doing great.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's like engaged, has like a beautiful home and pets. He's doing awesome. He's doing great, Ashley. So thanks for asking about him.
I wish him well.
You haven't asked me once about me.
Okay.
In these series of questions, feels like it's all about other people. It's always about my friends, and it's not about me.
Yeah, and that's my fault.
Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging it.
What in terms of like growing up in the desert? That's so interesting to me. What like was it like? Oh, my street is at the end of this. Like, there's just land at the end of my street, or what? Did you have to be like ride your bikes to a certain area? Like where? How? I want to know what this landscape was like.
I grew up in a small town outside of Phoenix called Casa Grande. Casa Grande.
Big old house.
Big house. And we lived sort of like outside of town. So it was still like a neighborhood with paved roads. But like if you exited my backyard and just walked, you were like in the desert.
Ooh.
Like all around you, just in the desert, you could just like walk and be pretty deep in it. And then if you drove like 5 minutes, you go to like even deeper deserts, and like there's like a mountain nearby like we would go hike on. So it was like literally like we would go explore the desert.
That's insane to me.
It was pretty great. Like I enjoyed it. Like it was a lot of fun growing up that way.
Yeah, I feel like it would
Being
be,
able
especially having so much space.
Yeah, a lot of space. Opposite of New York City.
Ooh.
New York, New York. I hate it here.
Yeah. Do you actually? No, you don't. When you're allowed to live, you don't.
Yeah. It's just now I've been here. This is the longest I've not been home.
Yeah. Oh man.
So that's it. I do like the New York, as they say. I do like the Big Apple.
I do like the pizza, the rats.
The rats and the pizza. I used to have rats in my old apartment. And I'm talking big rats. I mean, like, the biggest rats you've seen in New York were in our kitchen.
Kitchen?
Yes.
What did you do? How do you deal with that?
You call the exterminator, and they come, and they set up traps, and they go, sorry, this is Harlem. This is what happens. And then they leave, and then they're still there. It was a horrible, horrible nightmare. They were in my walls. Like, me and my roommate have had it pretty bad with just bad luck. Like, I don't know anyone else who's had, like, rats in their apartment. Like, they weren't mice. Like, they were, like, the big rats you see in the subway. It was an actual nightmare. But it's definitely, there's lots of little bugs. The buildings aren't well kept, and the landlords don't care about you. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the dream.
Living the dream. Yeah!
Basketball.
But yeah, hey.
Nice.
Yeah, I jumped and everything. Thank you. Oh, it went in.
Check this out. I got my foam ball here.
It looked like you took my pretend ball and turned it into a real ball. So, now, we have the final question.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
And it's a doozy.
Okay.
Do you think aliens are real?
Oh, I mean, for sure. They better be. And I hope we see them soon. Yeah, they're for sure. They have to be, right? It's like
so.
the go-to. Universe too big, yada yada. They better be real. I want them to be.
If you had the chance to meet an alien, what would you say or do?
I actually was telling my roommate Paul this today. I asked him if we met an alien, would he let me keep him? And he said no. But I would want to keep an alien, a baby, like a. Because I think it would be cool if there were aliens that were like as smart as like dogs, so that we could sort of keep one without it feeling like we're stealing like
A refugee.
sort of. Yeah, but if it's as dumb as a dog, it's like, well, it's my alien dog. Yeah. I think that would be fun. What would I say to an intelligent alien? I mean, I'd be so scared. I wouldn't say anything. I would probably shit my pants and run away. Yeah. I think.
Do you think aliens, if they're real, which I agree, I think they are, do you think they know about us?
I don't know, but I will say I used to be very afraid of them as a kid in the desert.
Oh,
I went through a few phases of like I used to be afraid of my house burning down, and then I was afraid of being abducted by aliens. And there's these lights outside of Phoenix that like are always it's a whole thing. There are these lights that I think the official answer is that they're flares, but they always appear in the Arizona night sky. And me and my dad would go look at them and be like, maybe those are aliens, and we don't know. And they used to say they were flares, but it was like, why are they in up every single night. And they weren't stars. They were obviously not stars because they would move and they wouldn't always be up. And so maybe aliens are real. And maybe they abducted me once because I got a weird little scab on my ankle that I don't know where I got it from. And I used to think that there was a piece of metal in it. And maybe that explains some of the things that are wrong with me. But I think if aliens are real, they like the desert. Easy to hide. People don't really look at the desert very much. And so, you know, more power to them. I don't remember how I started this.
In The Sims 2, when they introduced aliens, the aliens were only found in the desert suburb.
Love it.
Okay, so we have done it all now. We've done all the questions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give you the floor, baby. What are we gonna be
Okay.
talking about today?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have many things that I'm passionate about or have interesting or good opinions on, or do I have any sort of knowledge to bestow on any audience or have a fruitful discussion about. However, I do have unreasonable sort of thoughts about improv. And more specifically, I wanted to talk about short form improv. And I want to be on its side. I think there's too much hate in the now dead improv community that's been gone for over a year because of the global pandemic, but is coming back in Australia, but not yet here. I think these people who call only long form improv and refuse to think about short form and make their little jabs at Drew Carey and his little whose line anyway empire, because it's an empire, need to look in the mirror and realize maybe they're not good at short form, or maybe short form has something to offer, because I think it does.
And scene.
Nice.
See?
That was awesome.
Thank you. Fuck yeah. So I am excited to talk about it outside of what I know. I enjoy all improv. This is my official statement.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these ding dongs
Loser ding dong faces.
who is prejudiced against whether something's little or big, baby. You know,
Short or long.
short or long. But I've done mainly long form. But I did lots of I did like this extracurricular activity that was like 1 hour of it was singing, one was dancing, one was acting. And we would always do short form improv in the acting classes.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, this is the best. This is so cool. Like
Yes.
being an annoying like 12-year-old and getting to like pretend to be a crazy person at a bus stop, doing all the fun shit. You know, it was so good. But please tell me why you think people shit on short form if they haven't done it. Like, why do you think it is?
Well, okay, so for anyone who doesn't freaking know, I feel like anyone who listens this far is like knows what improv is. Maybe?
Hopefully.
I don't know.
If not, you are the one that needs to seek medical help.
You need mental health, because like this is all I got. All right. Short form improv is sort of like, you know, the very popular Whose Line Is It Anyway show. They're games. They're predetermined games with structures, and there's more audience participation. They get more suggestions, and then everyone plays a little game, and that's the thing. Whereas long form is usually like one suggestion, and then you'll see a whole show that derives from that in some way. And then I think these little long form improvisers think it's less real to do short form, because it feels more hacky, or you're getting more than one suggestion, you have to stay in the structure, blah blah blah. And I get like not wanting to do it all the time, but I also feel like, and I don't necessarily want to watch only short form, but I have also seen plenty of horrible long form shows that I wish I could erase from my memory, and I've seen good short form shows, and I feel like these fucks need to like give them some props.
Yeah, I agree. I think the amount of bad long form shows I've seen outweighs the good ones I've seen, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Improv is mostly bad, I think. And but it's the only thing I like, but I still will give you that it's mostly bad.
Yeah.
But I think, but a lot of the bad long form, oh man, this is so lame to talk about. I feel like a lot of the bad long form that I have seen and done, I'm like, if these people have done a little bit of short form, they'd be better. Because what's cool about short form is that the structure like teaches your brain to be funny. Like, even though it is hacky, hack is hack for a reason, is because it has broad appeal. And sometimes long form improv is so niche, and it's niche in a way that is for the audience of improv, which is like elitist little white kids. So it's like, fucking do a little bit of short form, people. It's fun. Have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think exactly what you said. It teaches you something. I feel like it probably teaches you timing, which is why in long form, I think that's the one thing that will make or break a show. Like, you could be watching a pretty good long form show, and just if they don't edit in time, if people don't know how to cut in and out of scenes and like change up the dynamics when something's getting stale, that's what kills it.
Yeah. Too long.
Exactly. Too long form, some may say.
Hey.
But then it, like on the other end of that, I don't think you can watch straight short form for longer than like 45 minutes to an hour.
No, I agree. I don't love it, but it's like, I think it gets too much hate, and people, it's like, why not do it? Like, I don't get RIP UCB. Okay, so this is kind of fun. When me and Justin were in cage match at UCB, they do they have timeouts. So during your show, while you're performing, you get 25 minutes exactly on the dot. However, there's like a secret thing where you could call a timeout, and the refs will come out and pause the clock for 30 seconds, and you could do whatever you wanted. And Justin and I wanted to do short form, just because we never did it. But like, it's like a thing, like the official rules of cage match are that you have to do long form. And I'm like, no one here has ever, like, I don't think anyone at UCB like has seen short form. Like, maybe back in the day, but now it's like less popular, I feel like. And it's like, just do a little bit of short form. Who cares? Let's mix things up. Let's play some dumb games.
And it's a good palate cleanser. That'd be a perfect thing to do.
It's a palate cleanser.
For anyone that doesn't know what cage match is, what I was saying I did the other week. It's like two teams have 20 or 25 minutes, and then they like battle. Everyone votes who is better. The team that wins comes back the next week until someone else beats them.
Yeah, and then you die.
Yeah, and then you die. And you're never allowed to do improv ever again.
As it should be.
And if you try...
Manzukis is coming for you.
He's coming for you,
aliens.
And he's going to feed you an egg. And then he gives you his allergy, and you die of anaphylactic shock.
Do you remember the short form games that you would play in the acting class?
Yeah, there was my favorite one was the bus stop one that I mentioned. So it's like 3 people, you get 3 chairs. Okay, so I didn't explain this properly at all when I was talking to Andy, so I'm going to explain it now much more concisely and not like a person who is on 1,000 drugs and doesn't know how to speak or remember their own memories. Basically, like I said, 3 kids get up and sit in 3 different chairs. But before they get up, there is a bowl in which all the different kids in the class have put different characters on. So it could be like a dentist, a 5-year-old, an 80-year-old, a spaceman, a poo Martian. Clearly, that's how imaginative I am. And then from there, they pick one out, and then they have to each act out as that character on the bus stop, and one by one, depending on where they're sitting, they have to find a reason to leave. And then the audience guesses who they are from that pile of guesses. And that's the game. Not at all what I explained with Andy. You're welcome.
I love that.
We would do that. We would have like a freeze frame game where it was like the whole class would be up, and then
classic.
Whoever was the last one to freeze would be, I don't know, I think it was like be out or like have to then initiate a scene and then everyone else would have to do it. Just little like charactery things.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of it.
Gotcha.
What is your favorite game?
Well, I was just about the freeze thing. I was just remembering that at all the shows at I.O., they play freeze, like either in the intermission or at the end, or they would do like Dream Nightmare. So they would interview an audience member and then reenact their dream. So like those are two fun short form games because they're very scenic. They're almost a long form piece, but they're short and quick, and they're meant to be. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like, again, weird to me. I'm like, I can't believe that doesn't happen at UCB ever, because I feel like instead what the UCB people used to do is they'll do like bits, like pre-written bits, and it's like those are fun too. Like I like both, and I'm obviously like you get tired of seeing freeze every single time.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know what the most alienating thing to an audience is a bad pre-written bit that's like super niche and no one understands, and all they want is for you to get off the stage. But like if it's like Dream Nightmare, especially, you're interviewing them. I feel like short form has all that, like engaging the audience, and it's like, well, this is what it is, people. Like we're meant to be on stage for the audience, so why not do more of that rather than one suggestion? Although, and again, I will say I prefer to do long form, but like it toss in a little bit of play with the little audience. They're having fun.
Yeah, that's why they're there as well. I think it's a great. I do remember it being at I.O. now. I forgot about that's what they would do.
Yeah.
At the Improv Conspiracy here, we are like in the point where they're like counting the votes for cage match and other little moments where like there has to be a pause. We do the same thing. We used to do a lot of freestyle, and now they do like, what's that sitcom? And they'll say to the audience like, hey, what's a sitcom that you think would be funny to see?
Yeah.
And then we have to
That's fun.
do the sitcom or whatever it is. Which is really fun. But I think like, yeah, I've probably talked about this on the podcast. I can't remember. Sorry if I don't remember things. I'm not an elephant.
Yeah, I forgive you.
Thank you. There's such a weird like clickiness, I guess, between like stand-ups being like, ugh, improv. Long form improvisers being like, ugh, short form. Like all these little things where people are like, that thing's stupid. My thing's better. And I'm not going to give you a reason why, but just because I do this one and all the people around me do this one and think it's cool too, the foundation of our relationship will be the thing that we like and hating on this other thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Which I've definitely done that. I love to hate. But it's like, yeah, how many times, you know what also sucks? I'd way rather watch improv bombing than a stand-up bomb. It's way more painful for the audience. Yeah. So it's like, in the end, we're all doing comedy, and the way live comedy works is like, you're going to bomb, and when you bomb, everyone is uncomfortable and hates you, and you hate yourself.
Yes.
But when you're doing well, it's fun. And I just think, they're fun for like slightly different reasons, and they help in different ways. And it's like, long form is more easily alienating because you only interact once with the audience.
Yeah.
So it's like, true. You don't have a chance really to reset with them. You can with your scene partner. And like, that's fun in a different way and a different type of challenge. But it's like, at the end of the day, are you not doing it for the audience?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? The improv. That was epic.
I did a big bad. That's the thing. The only time you're right. The only time you communicate with them is a suggestion, unless like for long form. I mean, unless like the show is so meta that somehow, and that can be like even more alienating. Like I feel like any show that I've done that's been really good. And been really meta. Everyone on stage is having a great time, and like 80% of the audience is also like super on board and like, wow, this feels like an experience only we're having now. It feels really present. And then there's always a few people in the audience that are like, I hate that this has now become about what's happening here rather than them committing to what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, it's always a risk to go meta for that. It's like, how many times can you really do that in a show without making it horrible. Unless you're killing, then it's like you probably have more leeway, obviously. But in general, it's like once per show, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's such a fine line between being like,
Yeah,
we're doing a show. It's either like, or get the fuck off the stage.
yeah. And there's definitely a lot, like, short form is obviously hacky because it's like you're doing the same games a lot. And, like, they are the same structures. So it's like repeating audience members will probably get bored. But, like, it's also like, yeah, but interact with them. And it's also fun to try to break the structures and find new ways within that, I think. I don't know. Yeah. I don't like the short form hate is all I'm saying. Cut it some slack. Play a few games.
Have some
fun.
And
then maybe you learn some things and have some fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
When did you do, because I know you and Justin have known each other for like most of your lives, right? And you guys did improv together in Arizona.
We met in high school, like our first, so when we were like 15. And I had taken improv classes when I was a little kid because my older brother was into comedy. And so that was obviously short form. And then we took a fucking way too many improv classes, but it was mostly short. And we performed at a short form theater for most of our time in high school. But they were very like, I would say most people who do short form also love doing long form. So like we would do both and the shows would be sort of a mix. And so we got to do both a lot, but also get an appreciation for like that sort of, shorter, quicker, more, it's suburban Arizona. It's like they don't want to see you do a physical group game. Like it doesn't make any sense to them. They don't want to see you flock. Like you got to be a little bit hacky sometimes.
Yeah. And I think in general, does anyone want to see a physical group game?
I don't think so. Not usually. Sometimes. But they're mostly bad. They're mostly going to be bad. And then we also would do like, we did with them, they did like corporate shows.
Ooh.
It's funny to imagine us like little 17-year-olds going to like these conferences, and those bombing on those is way worse because it's just like a company of people who don't want to see comedy, and then we're doing like, what's your middle name? Tell us your middle name so we can do some crazy stuff.
Oof. Do you remember the worst bombing experience you had doing short form?
Oh man, so many. I mean, I like telling this one because it's about Justin, but we used to do shows at like kids summer camps.
Ooh.
So it was like short form, but it also had to be family friendly, and it had to be high energy for children. And you also had to accept the fact that most of these kids will not be listening and they will be loud and annoying. But there was one time, and I think Justin would be okay with me telling the story. There was one time at the end of the show, the director would always like point to each one of us and be like, give it up for Ashley, for Andy. And then when he got to Justin, you just heard the kid in the front row just be like, I didn't like him very much. Just very firmly, straightforward. I didn't like him very much.
That's so funny.
That was pretty fun.
Oh my God. How did he handle that?
We thought it was funny.
Okay, good.
It bonds you. It makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we did stuff at like an old folks home, and I think we had one game where I think it's called like statues or something. You're not allowed to move, but you bring up an audience member and they move your body for you.
Yeah.
And I think this old woman like put Justin like on the ground and like kept like doing crazy shit, like making him joke and stuff. Good old family fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That woman was probably previously a sociopathic basketball player.
Absolutely. I hope so.
In her prime. Honestly, if you're choking teenagers in a retirement home, I think that's your prime.
Absolutely. That's what we're all striving for. I'm trying to get this pandemic over with and retire immediately.
Retire.
Choke some youngsters. Not a big deal.
That snippet's gonna play at the moment you're arrested one day.
Oh.
On the news, they'll play that.
No, that doesn't seem fair.
I'm just gonna send it to some news outlets now, just to get ahead of the story. You know.
All right. Yeah, I'll have your people talk to my people.
Yeah. You know where to find me. 1, 2, 3, Stinky Dick Boy.
Stinky Dick Boy. Venmo.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to say before we wrap up about short form to convince anyone that you think you haven't already about why they should give it a chance, or some resources on how good things to watch, anything that you think would sell this point?
Okay. This goes out to all the long form improvisers still listening. You people call long form improv. You don't say long form. You don't distinguish what it is. You think that you've reached the peak of an art form. And I'll tell you this. 1, improv's not an art. Get off your high horse. I don't really think that. I think it can be. But most of the time you're bombing and you suck. And I suck. I'm not claiming to be better than you. I'm just saying we're both addicted to a thing created by some scam artists. And we should be paid for the thing we do. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who does get paid. I've never been paid for long form. I have been paid for short form. Oh. The only improvisers who get paid do short form. So get off of your fucking ass and go to your local short form theater when the pandemic is over and see what it's all about. Learn some things. Take something back to your rehearsal group and see what you can get better at. And maybe you can do some short form, and maybe you can have fun in a different way. And yes, you will hate most of the show. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If all you do is a long form and you go see a short form show, you're going to be offended. You're going to be pissed. But I'll tell you one thing. If you go with an open mind, you'll realize that you should have done this before, and you should try it a little bit because you might like it, and I think it helps out. And we should all quit soon. And I wish I would do anything to be on stage doing any kind of improv at all. Help me. That's all I have to say about short form.
That was perfect. That was
yeah.
that you could convince me of anything with that conviction.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Well, I could only do it because you gave me the platform. Because there's nowhere else that I would talk about this thing ever. Because I think I'm annoyed by myself. But it's fun to talk about.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna tell you, hey, shut up, no one cares.
The second it's over, you'd be like, oh my god. But yeah, you're not gonna tell me during it. What are you gonna tell me to shut up?
No, exactly. Crazy. The second we stop recording, I'm gonna be like, look, Andy, that help you were talking about that you needed, you don't know how much you need it.
Here's a few phone numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this has been so much fun. And I really appreciate you coming on and being able to just chat with you, because obviously I miss you and I care about you, and I'm so just glad to have some time to chat.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I had a blast. I miss you too. I can't wait to go to Melbourne one day when the world is safe and to see you again here at some point.
Yes.
That would be grand and amazing.
And it'll happen.
I want nothing more.
Me too.
It will happen.
It just might be a while, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And everything's fine.
I love that you're standing. I keep forgetting that you're standing.
Woo!
It's awesome.
So good. It's great. So before we go, where can all the good people out there find everything that you're doing? Anything you'd like to plug? Everything.
Andy M. Vega on the social platforms. Journal Me Fine is a podcast I host with Justin Gaziski and Molly Adolph, where we read real journal entries and then do improv at the end via audio, because we got nothing else to do, and it's actually pretty fun, and there's some juicy stuff on there. We read things, and that's pretty much it. I'm vibing. Come help me. I'm in New York City.
Come help. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching and listening to this. If you want to find anything I'm doing, at Ashley Crap on everything. Look at the stuff. Tell me I'm good. because
You're good.
I do have access to therapy, and it's not ticking every box. There's some things that you can only get from external validation. So help, in the wise words of Andy Vega, help me.
Help me. Help us.
Help me, help us, help you. You know what? It'll help yourself if you help me and you help us.
That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Basketball.
Nothing but net. Woo! That's me imitating the siren that I can hear, and it's me
I'm sorry.
celebrating basketball.
New York City.
Yeah, concrete bunghole wet dream tomato.
That's the place.
All right,
that's
well,
my address.
That's yeah, okay. If you're gonna send Andy help, just write it at that address.
Perfect.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay hydrated. I'm gonna take a gulp of this smoothie.
Yummy. Really good gulp.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.